Here in section 2.6, numbers 29 through 39, we are going to solve and graph these guys. So we're going to solve it just like normal. Subtract 5 and you get 3t is greater than 7. Divide by 3 and you get t is bigger than 7/3. If you look at that on the graph, that is, put a 0 there, put 7/3 is somewhere up there, and it's bigger than 7/3. So everything up here needs to be colored. This is an open circle to make sure we understand that we don't actually include 7/3 in the answer. It doesn't say t equals 7/3. It says it has to be bigger than 7/3. So all these numbers that are bigger than 7/3 are what we include. All right, number 30. Subtract 2 and we get 4m is smaller than or equal to -20. Divide by 4 and we get m is smaller than or equal to -5. So a graph of this one, we've got to find, well, I'm going to mark 0. There's -5 way down there. And we are smaller than or equal to the -5 and put a closed circle on the -5 to let everybody know that we are including -5 as an answer. M can equal -5, and that's good. All right, number 31. Get rid of the parentheses, and we have 3x plus 12 minus 6x greater than or equal to 5x minus 10. So we really have 12 and a -3x over here greater than or equal to 5x minus 10. Put the two x's together. I'm going to add 3x to both sides, and we get 12 is bigger than or equal to 8x minus 10. Add 10 over here, and we get 22 is bigger than or equal to 8x. Divide both sides by 8, and we get 11 fourths. 22 eighths is the same as 11 fourths, is greater than or equal to x. So let's graph this guy. So there's 0, there's 11 fourths, and the x is on the smaller side, so it goes like this. Solid dot because we're equal to, and x is smaller than. If that's a little bit confusing to you, realize that this is the same thing as x is smaller than 11 fourths. These are the exact same statement. All right, next one, number 32. Add 3 to both sides, and we get 7p, -7p is smaller than 21. We're going to divide by a -7, divide by a -7. Now, when we divide by a negative, this is the one tricky thing about inequalities. It must turn directions. P is bigger than -3. So when we graph this guy, we have 0, we have -3. P is bigger than this, because when it times by the negative, it will be way down over here, and will be less than 24. So P is greater than -3 is the correct answer on that one. Open circle because -3 is not actually part of the answer, unlike these two where we had an equal sign. Okay, number 33. So jump that in. We get 3/5 n plus 12/5 minus 2 greater than or equal to 3/2 n. I want to get rid of those fractions. I know how to do that. Times through by, let me see, you've got a 5 and a 2, so the least common denominator would be a 10. I'm going to times everything by 10. Uh, 10 times 3/5, that's going to be 6n plus 24 minus 20 greater than or equal to 15n. So if I subtract 6n over here, I get 9n is less than or equal to 4. Divide both sides by n, and I get n is smaller than or equal to 4/9. Let's put that thing on the graph. And here's 0. We're going to zoom in a bit so I have some space. 4/9. And n is on the smaller side of 4/9. So all of these guys are colored. All those are possible numbers for n, and this is a circle, but it's got an equal sign in it, so we are coloring it in fully. There we go. Number 34. Let's divide by 3. Divide by 3. Oh, that's a nice one. M is less than -7. Now, the reason this problem was put here is to see if you would switch signs when it was actually not appropriate. We only switch when we times or divide by a negative number, not to a negative number. So this negative 7 is just perfectly fine. Less than negative 7, right there. Good deal. Number 35. Let's jump this guy in. We have 3/4 x minus 15/4 greater than or equal to 7/2 x plus 1. I want to get rid of those fractions. I'm going to times through by, let me see, got 2's and 4's in the denominator, so I'm going to times through by 4. That'll be the least common denominator. And look at that, the magic that occurs by getting rid of this. We now have 3x minus 15 is greater than or equal to 4 times 7/2. That's 14 x plus 4. Get the x's together, so subtract 3x over here. You have 11x plus 4 less than or equal to 15. Subtract 4 over there, you get 11x smaller than or equal to 19. That's a negative, so subtract 4, you get negative 19. Divide by 11, and we have x is smaller than or equal to negative 19/11. Put that on the graph. Here's 0, negative 19/11, somewhere down here. And x is on the smaller side of that, so it's all these guys down here. And it's less than or equal to, so it is going to be a solid dot. So there we have the graph. Good. Number 36. 3a plus 5a, that's going to be 8a over here, is less than or equal to 7a minus a, that's minus a over there. Try to get those a's together. I'm going to add a to the other side, so I have 0 is less than or equal to 9a. Divide by 9, and I get a is smaller than or equal to 0. Put that on the graph. There's 0, and we've got to be smaller than, and it says that we can be equal to 0, so it's a circle filled in. Good deal. Number 37. There's a fraction. I want to get rid of him. Looks like the least common denominator is a 3. We're going to times through everywhere by a 3 and watch the magic that occurs. 15y minus 21 greater than or equal to, oh, look at that. That 3, gone. Got a 2y plus a 12. Now we've got to combine all the y's to the same side. Subtract 2y over there. We get a 13y minus 21 greater than or equal to 12. Add 21. 13y is greater than or equal to, what was that, 33? Divide both sides by 13. We get y is greater than or equal to 33/13. Now let's put this puppy on the graph. And we get, there's 0. Where's 33/13? I don't know. Probably about right there, if we need to zoom out. And we have everything that's bigger than that, color that, and we get to include it, so there's a circle right there. These preparation problems for the next one. The reason these are considered preparation problems is you'll notice here we're reserving a table at a dinner and it's a show of events. There's a $50 reservation fee. Okay, he has a budget of $450. He doesn't have to spend the whole amount. He can spend less than that. So when we have the $50 plus 15 per person, 15 times the number of person, it doesn't have to equal 450. It just has to be smaller than or equal to 450, and that's why it's in this section. Here we have on his first 2 tests, Josh received 85 and 89. He wants to get at least a 90 for the average of his first 3 tests. So we're going to get 85 plus 89 plus this third test, x, divide by 3. That's going to be the average, and it has to be at least. Notice that wording there. He doesn't want to equal a 90. He wants to be at least a 90. And that'll get you started on that problem. Good.